Hassan was working full-time as a chemical engineer and was doing tutoring on the side just to make a little bit of extra money. He joined our program at the end of April 2025, and by July he already handed in a notice to leave his 9 to 5 because he already made 15,000 from tutoring online. He replaced his salary, tripled his income, and now runs a system that adapts to his situation completely, whether he wants to scale the business to the next level or just stay where he's at right now. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how we help him go from working in a 9 to 5 on someone else's schedule to building a tutoring business with full control of his time, location independency, and a lot more income. You see, the reason why 90% of tutors stay stuck and don't turn this into a full-time thing is because they convince themselves that tutoring is just a side hustle to make a little bit of extra money, 500, maybe 1,000 on the side per month. And that's completely understandable, because if all you know is just waiting for referrals, posting on Facebook groups, or maybe even getting students from a website, that's pretty much all you are gonna earn. But no one's really ever shown you how to bring in clients systematically, day after day, month after month, consistently, and more importantly, clients that are actually willing to pay higher prices so that you can break that 500 to 1,000 side hustle range and actually get into proper online business. And we've helped Hassan build this system all the while he was working his 9 to 5. And only once the system actually brought in enough revenue from the new students that he got is when he actually was able to leave his job. So no, you don't have to first leave your job and then go into this. It really doesn't take more than 5 to 10 hours a week if you take it seriously. So if you're in a similar situation, you've got a job right now, you're doing a little bit of tutoring on the side, but it's not really bringing in the amount of money you want it to, and you're not really in control of how many students you get or when you get them, then click on the link below this video and schedule a call with my team. We'll break down exactly how we can build the exact same system for your specific situation. So here is absolutely everything we did with Hassan to allow him to leave his 9 to 5 and go all in into online tutoring. First of all, he teaches A-level chemistry and biology in the UK. And before he started working with us, he was mainly just relying on some LinkedIn automation to get students. And fair enough, he did get a couple of students per month from that. But like I said, he wasn't really able to grow it because he kind of reached a cap on how many new students he could bring in every single month. So he essentially had no system to get new attention on board. He had zero social media presence, meaning people didn't really know who he was and people weren't reaching out to him saying that, they want his specific help with their biology or chemistry. And even the parents that he did talk to, many of them seemed to be unable or unwilling to pay the prices that he was charging, leading him to stay stuck charging very low ticket prices if he wanted to get any conversion whatsoever. And the worst part was that while he did have a business partner, they were doing everything themselves, right? Which ultimately led them to have no clear way to actually grow the business further. So here you see him being welcomed by our team, and because we absolutely love speed, you see he actually joined on the 21st, and on the same day we actually had the onboarding call to actually kickstart everything and get his business rock and rolling as soon as possible. After that, we handed him a bunch of sheets to fill out because we do need a lot of info from your side as well to actually be able to craft all of the marketing material and the overall game plan as well. And here you can see the database of all of our sales and marketing material, as well as all of his sales, marketing, and just general info about his business, all nice and organized inside our Google Drive. You see, most tutors think that just being a good teacher is gonna bring in new students, but it's really all about how you actually package everything, right? For that reason, once we did have enough info about him, we started creating specific landing pages with dedicated videos explaining exactly what he does, how he's different to absolutely everyone else in the market, why he can charge premium prices, and what it's all about. Now, the purpose of this is to actually pre-frame you as the authority, as the expert, so that you don't get people with a high ego jumping on your call and just being like, sell yourself to me, what do you got? And then trying to lower the price, right? Instead, they come to you as if they were coming to a doctor. They tell you about their problems, and then they ask you for a solution and for help, right? And then it's just a natural progression of you just suggesting one of your packages, and they naturally just go with that. Because like if you have knee pain and you go to a doctor, he suggests you a pill or he suggests you surgery, 90% of people go with that because their knee hurts, right? This is the same thing we're trying to create here. Another thing I see a lot of tutors doubting is charging more, right? If I charge more, parents will leave. Well, if you charge more and change nothing else about your tutoring, yeah, most parents are most likely gonna leave. But if you position yourself properly, like I just described here, as a doctor, like if you're from America, you should know this. Like you guys' health insurance is off the charts, yet people still need to go to the doctor, right? Again, like if your knee hurts, you're gonna get it fixed, right? As long as you actually believe that the doctor can fix your knee. So this is exactly what we're trying to build here. So as long as you're positioned properly as a doctor frame, people are willing to pay way higher prices than you can ever even imagine. We also made sure to optimize his Instagram profile so that it looks professional. And you can see here, like he's not even getting crazy views. He's literally getting like 300 views per video. And yet he was still able to bring in 50K in a single month, right? This just goes to show that we're not really trying to go ultra viral. We're not trying to get like as many people to watch our videos as possible. We just want a handful of the right people to watch our videos and our content that will then get engaged and then buy our services as well. We also made sure to do like a pre-call homework page where people that book a call get instructions on exactly what to do to get prepared on the call. Again, we're trying to create the doctor frame here, right? We want to be seen as the expert who gives them all of the instructions and the proper guidance to actually allow us to have a productive conversation and productive call, right? And ultimately to allow us to convert as many people as possible. So once we created all of the back-end stuff, we then need to focus on actually crafting the ads, right? Now, I know a lot of you people have probably like tried ads and they didn't work out. But I want you to understand that it's really not the ads that failed, and I'll show you exactly how we do them so that they succeed and don't fail. But realistically, it's most likely just your strategy, right? Because ads work. You can Google this. Like Facebook's making literally millions and millions every single month with advertising, right? So people are paying a lot of money for ads. So just based on that, they must work. Otherwise, Facebook would be out of business. So it's crucial that you actually understand how you do them, right? Now, a couple of obvious things. You want the ads to look professional, right? You see here, it's him with a solid background. It's not like, there's not a bunch of weird stuff going on. It looks professional. He's in focus. The background is a little bit blurry just so that you focus on him. We've got nice, clean captions as well. And we always start the ad by presenting our offer, right? So in his case, does your child need help with A-level chemistry, for example? And then you also state what your offer is to them and how you can deliver all of those results. So once we actually launched these ads, we were able to get him overall about 160 people who were interested, who raised their hand and said, hey, I want to learn more about his services. I want to see what this is all about. I want to have a conversation, right? So as you can see, if we get you this many interested people, like some of them are going to convert, 5, 10, 20, maybe even 40 of them, right? It's completely reasonable if you get 170 people to say, yes, I'm interested, like at least 10 are gonna convert. So we also wanna make sure that we track absolutely everything, and 90% of this tracking is done automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I'll get into like the revenue stats later, but this is just what it looks like. And the purpose of this is just to make sure that we know exactly what's going on within his business and how we can improve it further. But I do want you to understand that ads alone aren't really enough. People won't trust and buy just because they saw like a 60-second video. You need the whole system behind that to actually convert these people, right? This is what I mentioned here. These pages, a professional looking Instagram, pre-call homework, all this stuff just nurtures these people and builds trust and credibility so that by the time these people actually do get on a call with you, they know what it's all about and they're basically pre-sold, right? And most importantly, you want to have this whole process automated. You absolutely don't want to be sending all of this by hand, one by one, right? So once we set all of that up, his calendar looked something like this. As you can see, like within a week, he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 calls with new parents who wanted to learn more about his services and potentially buy. And at this point, you pretty much see like if you get this many people to talk to you for an hour, 3 or 4 are gonna convert, right? That's just simple math, right? If that many people are interested, 3 or 4 are definitely going to convert, and that's exactly what happened. Now I'll get more into conversions later, but before he actually started hopping on these calls, we made sure to actually give him a sales script, right? So here I basically told him to go through all of the material we sent him and then I'll guide him through the sales script. He also sent me his calls, like his previous calls, for review, and I just gave him some honest feedback on what he can improve, so that when he actually does speak to all these people, he says the correct things and he presents his offer confidently, so that at the end of the day, he converts as much as possible, right? And once all of that was set up, he pretty much started getting new inquiries left and right. Here you see, hey Aman, we would like to go for the accelerator learning program for Kentucky. We would like most Saturdays, blah, blah, blah. Just an interested lead who wants to join. And another email, we'd like to try the 240 pound for chemistry for Isabel for a month, see how it goes. After that, sales pretty much just started pouring in. First 600 sale, and then I reviewed another one of his calls just to give him some more feedback on how he can improve even further. And then the end result was that with with less than 600 pounds of ad spend, he brought in 15,000 pounds in new revenue, right? So for every person that's thinking like ads are expensive, as soon as I start the ads, my bank account is gonna be pretty much drained like in 2 days. That's not really true, like for two reasons. One is that you can set exactly how much you want to spend on the ads per day. In his case, he set it to 20 pounds a day maximum of ad spend, right? Which results in around 600 pounds per month. And that's exactly what we spent. And that measly 600 pounds, again, brought him 15K in new revenue with it just 8 sales. So after he saw those results, he pretty much handed in the notice and he decided to quit his job and go all in into this. So for all of you that still think that tutoring can't really be your full-time thing and you can't live off that, that's true if you keep doing what you're doing right now. But if you actually set up a proper system like we did for Hassan and his business partner Aman, you can absolutely do this full-time and you don't need your teaching job or whatever 9 to 5 you're working right now. You can make a lot more money this way, and most importantly, you're in complete control of your time and you're in complete control of your location, so you can pretty much work from anywhere you want to. And you don't really need to be a marketing expert to do this. Again, like Hassan was a chemical engineer, not a marketer. He just simply followed the framework that we laid out in front of him, and it paid off. Sure, he didn't like become a millionaire in like 2 weeks, but he was able to quit his job. He was able to make 15K with just a measly 600 pounds of ad spend. So the end result was, like I said, around a total of 20K additional revenue. He was now an authority figure in the chemistry and biology subjects for the UK. He had a 27x ROAS on the ads, meaning, like I said, 600 pounds of ad spend got him 15K back, so that's roughly 27x, right? For $1 he puts in, he gets $27 back. He's now getting daily new inquiries and meetings with parents. Also, he's got a full-time appointment setter taking care of all of the new inquiries that are actually coming in, so that he doesn't need to do all that himself. And most importantly, he has complete control over his time and his business. And there's also like a clear path forward, right? Because with a ROAS like this, for every $1 you put in, you get 27 back. You can just put in a lot more money and you're gonna get a whole bunch more back as well. So if you want more control over your income, schedule, and lifestyle, and you know that you're pretty much ready to go all in into online tutoring as long as it makes sense and it's bringing enough money, we'll break down exactly what you're doing right now and what can be improved so that your business can get to those 15, 20K numbers like Hassan's did as well.